Did you know that the oil industry was born in Podkarpacie? Petroleum is one of the most important raw materials in the modern world. "96 million barrels of this substance are used daily. Leaders in oil extraction include the United States, Russia, and Saudi Arabia. Our film tells the story of the Black Gold Discoverers tourist route that leads through the most interesting and important places related to the emergence and development of the oil industry. The tour along the trail of the Black Gold Discoverers will start at Ignacy Łukasiewicz Oil and Gas Industry Museum in Bóbrka, comprising the oldest oil drilling site in the world. Petroleum industry was born here. The drilling site was opened in 1845 by Tytus Trzecieski, Karol Klobassa-Zrencki, and Ignacy Łukasiewicz, pharmacist and inventor of the kerosene lamp, creator of oil industry. Oil wells are still working in the museum, which means that the world's oldest oil drilling site is still operating. To understand how important the drilling site was for the local community, we should look at some evidence confirming this statement. It is most visible in Bóbrka itself, where we can see the Church of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, built between 1905 and 1908. Local inhabitants working in the oil industry, to a large extent, paid for the construction of the church. A new, tall, brick church, visible from afar, was sending a message to visitors: we have a prosperous life. Let's move now to Krosno. The pioneer of oil industry in Europe, Ignacy Łukasiewicz, became known mainly for his achievements such as distillation of crude oil, invention of the kerosene lamp, and involvement in development of petroleum industry. The lighting industry also evolved with the advancements in oil industry, as it used kerosene as the fuel. Subcarpathian Museum in Krosno is the best place to travel back in time and discover the charm of historic interiors lit with beautiful kerosene lamps. The statue of Ignacy Łukasiewicz, located in front of the Krosno City Hall, is cast in bronze and stands on a granite pedestal. He points his finger onto the source of oil. In addition to developing their own business, the originators of oil industry carried out charitable work and activities benefiting the society. They also decided to join the activities of the Credit Society. What was the Credit Society? The institution was involved in granting loans and credits. Let us look at a unique place in the outskirts of Krosno. The brick manor house, once owned by the Trzecieski family in Polanka, is over 200 years old. Some events of great importance for the development of oil industry took place there. In the manor house in Polanka, Ignacy Łukasiewicz, Tytus Trzecieski, and Karol Klobassa-Zrencki formed the first company in the world to search for and extract oil. After the company was founded, actions to establish the drilling site in Bóbrka were taken. About 9 kilometers outside Krosno, there is a town of Jedlicze, where a petroleum refinery is located. The plant was built in the early 20th century in the nearby village of Bóbrka. today part of Jedlicze. At the municipal cemetery in Jedlicze, about 1.5 kilometers from the refinery, there is the grave of Tytus Trzecieski, who laid the foundations for the Polish oil industry. The burial place of two pioneers of oil industry, Ignacy Łukasiewicz and Karol Klobassa-Zrencki, can easily be found in Zręcin. Among the oil fields of Podkarpacie, one can find many oil wells and pump jacks still running. However, crude oil is not everything. There are also many deposits of natural gas. In a pleasant place in the center of the forest, on the slopes of Mount Przedziwna, we can find the oldest and most famous healing spring in Ignacy, once regarded as the most valuable. Because of the gas released from underground, the water emerges babbling and mumbling, and this is how the spring received its name, Bełkota. Petroleum was known to people living in and near the village of Mikowa, even in the 18th century. The location where people would extract the black fluid was called Dychtivka, tar. According to the data from a local chronicle, industrial oil excavation began as early as 1913. Altogether, 17 oil wells were drilled here, ranging in a depth from 50 to 250 meters. In late August 1944, during the Slovak national uprising, the oil refinery in Mikowa was blown up and burnt down to the ground. The village of Mikowa is mainly known as the birthplace of Andy Warhol's parents. The nearby town of Borce is home to the Andy Warhol Museum of Modern Art. Wacław Wolski, a Polish engineer, inventor and oil entrepreneur, was also closely related to oil industry. He developed, among others, a hydraulic rotary drilling method. This method was called Polish-Canadian. In 1907, the Wilno shaft near Bolesław attained a depth of 1,000 meters. Typical shafts were 400 meters deep. Some of the equipment used during extraction of crude oil can be seen by visitors at the Museum of Folk Architecture in Sanok. A real rarity is a steam locomobile from 1919. Become an explorer of black gold. Get on the trail.